Good afternoon. We're here to give you our weekly update on the coronavirus crisis here in Nashua, and which we've been doing once a week. We may go to once every 2 weeks as the state begins to open up, but you'll hear from us again. Now, this we know has been hard for you and for all of us here in Nashua. Social distancing, can't go out, stay at home, wear masks, not easy. But keep in mind that we've accomplished something very important together. We have helped protect our friends, our family members, our neighbors, ourselves from getting the coronavirus. We've had over 30 people in Nashua pass away as a result of the coronavirus, so it can be a very serious illness, especially for our senior citizens. But now we want to move into the slides and begin to show you some of the specifics as we have done before. The first slide talks about just a little bit about the global picture. You can see that there have been 8 million across the world, 2 million cases in the United States. In the United States, 116,000 people have died so far. Very tragic. In Nashua, we've had 5,364 cases as of this morning. Most of those people have recovered. About 10% have been hospitalized. And as I mentioned before, a little over 30 people have died. Hillsborough County, we've had about 3,000 cases and 2,000 people have died. On to the next slide. Again, in Nashua, 582 cases. Right now, we have 61 active cases. Now, our health department, our public health department, which has been doing a great job on this, they are aware and they work with every person, every patient who tests positive. They figure out who they've had contact with, and they go to those people and tell them, look, you've got to quarantine, you've got to be careful because you've been in contact with someone who tested positive. And that's a very primary method, very primary technique in containing the spread of the virus. As I said, we've had 31 deaths so far just in our community. 85% have recovered, and again, about 10% have gone to the hospital. Now, as we're seeing, and now in terms of the state's reopening, this is under the control of the governor in the state of New Hampshire, so we're working with them, of course. They are being cautious about opening up gradually, and that's very good. This chart shows you one of the things that they and we look at very carefully, and that is the number of people who are tested who test positive, the percentage of people who test positive. When we were back a month, 2 months ago, the number of people, the percentage testing positive was about 10%, 11%, over 10. Now that's gradually come down so that the about 5% of the people that are being tested turn out to be positive. The medical people, the doctors tell us that that's a very important indicator as to whether the disease is in decline or not. We've had now 42 days, or 45 days, I think it is, of a declining percentage. Very important. But we still want to be cautious because we know there could be a resurgence of this virus. We've seen that in some other states. For example, right now, the experts tell us that about 20 states, the number of cases is beginning to increase. Not here, not in Massachusetts, not in New York, but in some of the states that really didn't close down much, didn't stay at home nearly as long as we did here in New England. States like Florida. Florida had a record number of new cases just yesterday. So we want to be cautious as we begin to reopen, and we want to continue to watch, along with our medical experts, along with our doctors, the trends, like the percentage of people who are being tested, the percentage that show up positive. Because if there is a resurgence, we want to be ready to adjust some of our reopening steps to make sure that the disease continues to be on the decline. Now, we've got some reopenings. These, of course, are ordered by the state of New Hampshire. We have, on June 15th, a couple days ago, restaurants were allowed to open at 50% capacity. Now, you might have seen in downtown Nashua, we expanded the outdoor dining, set up a lot of new tables, and that has gone very well. The feedback we're getting from the small businesses downtown, we're trying to help them recover, as well as the customers, the patrons, our residents, has been very positive. The outdoor dining is, of course, a lot safer because the tables are distanced from each other and you're in an outdoor environment where it is more difficult for any kind of disease to be communicated. On June 29th, going back to the slide, most businesses are going to reopen according to the governor's orders. We're giving you the website, the site, for all of the detail regarding the various orders that the governor has issued over the course of the coronavirus crisis, and including the current guidance, the current rules can be found at that website. Next slide tells you a little bit about City Hall. City Hall is still currently closed to the public, but services are continuing. We are registering automobiles, email or call automobile registration. All of the other duties are continuing. Some people are going into City Hall and working there. Others are working remotely. You see, and the slide covers that as well. Many people are working remotely. Some people are working remotely to maintain the level of service, like automobile registration, that of the services we provide out of City Hall. We're not offering in-person transactions, but you can make payments on the website electronically if you want to do that. Let me go to the next slide. This tells you a little more detail regarding motor vehicle registration. What happened was that the governor suspended the obligation to register any new car until May 31st, but now all those new cars need to be registered. So you can email mvr2@nashuanh.gov, or you can mail your registration to the address on the screen, P.O. Box 2019, Nashua, New Hampshire. Or there is a drop box in the back of City Hall on Elm Street. You can go there and drop off your paperwork. The automobile registration people will pick it up and then get back to you by mail. One thing that we have put a great emphasis on in Nashua, and I'm very determined that we need to help our small businesses recover. Many people are employed by small businesses. They've been hurt more than larger businesses as a result of the closings. So we want to help them get back on their feet. So the city adopted a COVID-19 impact fund. To do this, we assembled federal money, $1.1 million, and we are awarding loans to small businesses, approximately, and the average will be about $25,000. We've received 55 applications by the deadline. We've recently made some awards. We're going to be making more probably this week. We have a loan committee, some bankers and other people from the private sector, and some city people review every application in terms of determining which are worthy of getting a loan. So we hope that that will help. And of course, as I've mentioned, we greatly expanded the outdoor dining space downtown. This has been a great benefit to the small businesses down there. I was down there last night, and Michael Buckley, who is the owner of 2 of the downtown restaurants, said to me, you know, you may have saved many of us down here as a result of opening so quickly. And I want to thank Public Works for that, our Board of Aldermen, Tim Cummings, the Economic Development Director, our city engineer, Dan Hudson, for designing the plan and implementing it very quickly. I can tell you that Portsmouth is just getting around now to considering whether they want to provide more outdoor dining space. We've had this in effect for at least a month. Now, one thing we want to encourage, and let's go to the next slide, is as we're reopening, even if you're staying mostly at home, you still can enjoy the outdoors. As long as you stay distanced from other people, wear a mask when you go to public places, it's good to go out and get some exercise. So we have some wonderful parks in the city. Mine Falls is, of course, a very large park in the center of the city, hundreds of acres. That's a good place to go and take a walk. We, of course, have Greeley Park in the north end off Concord Street. That is another good place to get exercise, get outside, and get away if you need. If you've got cabin fever like many of us do, that's a good place to go as well. Now, let's look at the next slide. We still are doing a lot of testing. Anybody now who wants to get tested can get a test for COVID-19. The city, our public health department, is running testing clinics every Thursday, and we're running those from 3 to 6 p.m., but you need to make an appointment, and you need to call 589-3456, which is the city COVID-19 hotline, in order to schedule an appointment. But if you have symptoms, even if you don't, if you feel you'd like to get tested, please call that number. Now, there are other tests going on, private clinics, some of our medical providers, primary care physicians are also testing. That's another alternative. But with the city test, there's no charge, and you will get the result as soon as the state gets it back to us, which is usually within a few days. But I wanted to remind you before I complete right now of the public health recommendations regarding containing the virus and keeping everybody safe. Please stay at home if you have any symptoms at all. Wash your hands frequently. Wear a mask, a face covering. The science, the medical experts tell us that is very effective in protecting everybody from catching the virus. Avoid close contact with a lot of other people. Avoid gatherings of more than 10. Now that number is going to go up to 50, but still exercise caution. And keep a distance. Try to keep at least 6 feet from anyone that you encounter, to make sure that the right social distancing is maintained, so that we can continue to continue to prevent the spread of COVID-19 virus. I'm going to turn you over now to Jenn McCormack, who's going to tell you a little bit about the library and how that's going to open. But I just wanted to repeat that we know that this is hard for everyone, wearing the masks, staying at home, missing our friends. But I'm determined that we're going to be able, that by working together, by making this big sacrifice as a group, we are going to continue to limit the number of cases. We're going to continue to protect our neighbors, our friends, our family, so that when we come out of the other side of this, we will be able to say we accomplished something very, very important. I'm now going to give you to Jenn McCormack, who's going to talk a little bit about the library's reopening and some of the plans that they have.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mayor's office, for inviting me to be here. My name is Jenn McCormack. I'm the library director. Hopefully I'm a familiar face to some of you. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the services the library is already offering you and the many ways you can get in touch with us if you have questions or you need some advice on the next great thing to read. So on the next slide, some of our contact information. You can always reach us via email at information@nashualibrary.org. You can go to our website, nashualibrary.org, and just click on the Contact Us button, and that will get you to us. We have library staff working from home answering those emails, and you can reach us. The slide says 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's actually 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 2 on Friday and Saturday. During those same hours, you can reach us by phone, 589-4600. If you're working or you can't call us during that time, please leave a voicemail, and the next time we're in the building, someone will get back to you. Also, during the closure, we started offering chat reference service, but it doesn't have to be a reference question. So if chat's available, when you go to our website, it's a little red bubble that's going to show up just like it shows up on the shopping sites you go to. Click on that and start a conversation, and there's a reference librarian at the other end who's happy to help you with anything. Sometimes that means you get redirected, but mostly they can help you reset your PIN, sign up for text notifications. They can do obituary searches. This week we had someone interested in the history of railroad lines in Nashua in New England. So reach out. We're still here. It's like we were sitting at our desk, but we're at our comfy desks at home. The next slide talks a little bit about the special offerings. They're only because we're doing them from home or behind closed doors, but we were really doing most of these all along. Reading Radar is a service that we offer through our website. There's a bunch of us on staff. I think we currently have 8 or 9 people offering this. You can go online. There's a list of the books that we particularly recommend, but you also can fill out a form and we'll recommend 5 or 6 books that you might enjoy, or movies. And they can be ebooks, audiobooks, anything. So I encourage you to do that. It's really helpful for parents who are trying to pick books for their kids or their teens. We have staff that will help you with that as well. When you found something that you want, go to our catalog at nashualibrary.org and place a hold, or you can give us a call at 589-4600, and whoever answers the phone is more than happy to help you place a hold. We're not open though, right? So how do you get your holds? We offer curbside pickup. So from 10 to 7 on Monday through Thursday and 10 to 2 on Saturdays, you can drive to our main parking lot, pull into one of the marked spots. There's a nice, beautiful lawn sign that says curbside delivery, and give us a call. We'll check the books out to you and bring them out to your car. If you're on foot or you forgot your cell phone at home, there's an intercom out there. Press the button. Someone at the front desk will pick up. A couple of things not on the slides because I didn't send them. We also offer books by mail. That's a service we've offered for 7 or 8 years. Due to the coronavirus, we've expanded that. So you are eligible for books by mail if you are over 60 or if you have a medical condition that makes you at higher risk from COVID-19, as well as if you are disabled and homebound or have a visual impairment. So if you think you'd like that service for yourself or for someone in your family, give us a call at 589-4600. We can sign you up and start mailing things to you. There's no cost to you for this service. And the final thing I'd like to add, and this is new from the Board of Trustees meeting last night, the trustees have suspended all overdue fines through at least September 30th. We really want to make it easier and stress-free for people to use the library. So don't worry if things are late, bring them back as soon as you can. If you have a question about your account or past fines that you might have, give us a call, 589-4600, or email us. Go to the website, nashualibrary.org, and we're happy to help. That's it from the library. I'm going to pass you off to the city clerk, Sue Lovering.
Thank you, Jen. So I'm Sue Lovering, the city clerk, and I just want to speak quickly to a few things. The city clerk's office continues to accept online and mail-in requests for dog licenses, taxi and chauffeur licenses, hawkers and peddlers, permits for special events, the overnight parking program, and certified copies of birth certificates, death certificates, and marriage licenses, to name a few. We also continue to make appointments to apply in person for a marriage license or to register to vote. On the next slide, you'll see that in addition to registering to vote in person, the Secretary of State and the Attorney General have determined that all citizens of New Hampshire are entitled to use the disability provisions in New Hampshire's voter registration and absentee voting laws to register to vote and/or cast their vote by absentee ballot for the upcoming fall elections. Next slide. For absentee voter registrations, residents who are unable to register to vote in person or cast their ballot in person on Election Day because of an illness from COVID-19 or because of the fear of exposing themselves or others to COVID-19 may request an absentee voter registration package and/or an absentee ballot. These will be mailed to you, and you may fill them out in the convenience and comfort of your own home. For new voter registrations, on the next slide, you will see that requests for absentee voter registrations are accepted by mail, email, fax, telephone, or the drop-off box behind City Hall. Those packets and instructions will be mailed to your home, and make sure that you fill it out completely and mark the disability section on the absentee registration affidavit for your reason to vote absentee. If you are requesting an absentee ballot, you may request to register to vote absentee on that form. When we mail you the ballot in mid to late summer when they're available, we will send you the absentee voter registration packets, and you mail both of them back to us, again in the convenience and comfort of your home. On the next slide, just briefly on the absentee ballots. You may request those now for the upcoming 2020 elections. They are available online or by contacting our office. If you're voting absentee at both fall elections, you must submit a separate request for each election. We again just want to remind you that you must mark the disability section as the basis for your eligibility to vote by mail if you are doing so because of COVID-19 and your fear of exposure. You mail, email, fax, or hand deliver your request to the Nashua City's Clerk's office at 229 Main Street in Nashua, New Hampshire. The last slide will just give you some information on more information on contacting the City Clerk's office. Our main number is 589-3010, option 5. Our fax number is 589-3029. And you may email us at cityclerkdepartment@nashuanh.gov. More information on voting during COVID-19 is also found on the New Hampshire Secretary of State's site, which is SOS-NH.gov Voting Emergency. Thank you.
Hello. I just had a couple more things to speak to you about. First of all, I apparently misspoke in talking about Hillsborough County. There are 3,000 cases, approximately, and a little more than 200 people have died here in Hillsborough County. Now, that was on the slide, but I think I stated it wrong when I was looking at it. Now, before we conclude, we wanted to tell you about some upcoming events. The Nashua Downtown Farmers Market starts on June 21, which is this coming Sunday. It's from 10 to 2. It's been moved because of the expansion of the outdoor dining. It's now going to be in the park and in the area next to and behind City Hall. So you should come to Elm Street behind City Hall, and you will be directed as to how to walk through the market. We're going to maintain social distancing, and we're going to have a one-way flow so that people do not run into each other as little as possible. But I think you'll find it a very positive, great place to go. There's a lot to offer. There are vendors, farmers, and it will definitely be a great experience if you can make it. Also, on June 27th, we are going to have our virtual Pride Parade. We've had a parade for 2 straight years, but this year, because of Corona, because of the COVID-19 virus, we decided to do this virtually. So if you want to see everything that we're doing, you can tune into that virtually, and there'll be various ways to access it. And finally, of course, I've been holding a coffee with the mayor now for some years, once a month. We have done it typically at Jaja Bell's downtown, but now, with COVID-19, we're doing this virtually, and we've done that a couple times. The next virtual town hall, or coffee with the mayor, is coming up on July 15th. You can find that on Facebook or on Public Access TV. Again, thank you for tuning in. We will update you probably in a couple of weeks. Please stay safe, be careful. We want to continue to watch this virus to make sure it doesn't reemerge. We want to keep everybody safe. Thank you for tuning in.